Good evening to all of you. Today we shall discuss on various energy efficiency financing availability to implement any ESCO project. So in this session we shall discuss what are the types of finance available, what is energy efficiency financing platform, and how ESCO can do the project by availing finance from different sources. So these are the major topics which we'll be covering in today's session. So without any further delay, let us start the session. Let me share you all my presentation. I hope you all can see the presentations. So today's topic, financing options available for implementation of energy efficiencies. Now, I am Vibhu Swain, an accredited energy auditor. I am from PowerTech. PowerTech is basically an empaneled ESCO by Bureau of Energy Efficiency under Ministry of Power, and we are rated CRISIL B grade 3. Now, we do a lot of ESCO activities, RESCO activities, power trading, REC, RPO compliance, investment. We also study a lot of energy management project, conduct energy audit, investment grade energy audit, PAT energy audit, and MNV audit. Apart from that, we also do a lot of EPC activities, and we are into e-mobility and sustainable manufacturing. We conduct a lot of workshop and awareness program for the benefit of energy professionals. Now, these are our major clientele list. We are empaneled with ESLs, we are empaneled with Bureau of Energy Efficiency, empaneled with Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, and you can connect with us in our through various channels, through our social media to know about our future projects. Now, coming to the today's topics, what do you mean by energy efficiency? It means that how to consume less energy for maintaining the same product output. That means we need to have reduced specific energy consumptions so that I can achieve energy conservation, I can achieve energy efficiencies. There is a tremendous opportunities in India as far as energy efficiency projects are concerned. Now, in case of energy efficiency project, what we do, we bundle one or more number of energy efficiency measures within a particular boundary, within a particular consumer facilities, within a particular organization facilities. That means bundling of lot of energy efficiency saving measures is known as energy efficiency projects. It can be LED, it can be AC, it can be BLDC fan, it can be VFD. So whatever the energy efficiency technologies are available, if I can bundle it and make it a one project and implement it within a particular organization, within a specified period, with a specified budget, then it will be treated as an energy efficiency project whose saving achievement can be verified easily. So there are a lot of opportunities, and normally energy efficiency project is being implemented by ESCO, which is basically energy service companies. Now, you know, energy service companies normally offers services related to design, retrofit, implementation of energy saving measures. Now, it avails finance from different banking organizations and implement the project, monitor it, verify the savings, and by in turn get its repayment, gets its financial from the project, from the organizations, and it take up the finance activities, implement the project, and achieve financial saving, and in turn it gets its fees from that accrued saving, and that project is known as ESCO project, and that organization who implement energy service contract is known as energy saving companies. As I told you, PowerTech is basically a CRISIL B3 ESCO, and there are a number of ESCOs have been empaneled by Bureau of Energy Efficiencies. So we are one of them. As I told, as an ESCO, we should be in a position to offer energy services, that is design, retrofit, and implementation of energy saving projects. We have to identify what are the energy saving opportunities are there in the facilities or in any industries or in any commercial building. Identify the energy saving opportunities. Then after that, we have to carry out infrastructure outsourcings. We have to deal with power generations, energy supply, energy audit. And we need to arrange equipment, install those equipments, and arrange finance and implement the energy saving projects. Now, as an ESCO, we should be in a position to provide saving guarantee, risk management, and implementation of the energy efficiency projects. So all these, arranging finance, taking the technical risks, monitoring the project, achieving the financial savings desired result as a performance guarantee, and implement the project in a successful manner, all are responsibility of ESCOs. So as an ESCO, they have to deal with energy consultant, equipment service provider, OEM, financing organizations, installers, and also we should have an O&M contract and have a good relationship with electric supplier or utilities. And finally, the end result should go to the end client, that which can be an industries, which can be a commercial building, which can be any organizations. If you understand the current status of ESCOs, around 150 to 200 ESCOs have been empaneled by Bureau of Energy Efficiencies to implement this project, various energy efficiency projects in the nations, and almost 1,60,000 crore of investment, or the total project cost, estimated cost of ESCO business is around 1,60,000 crores. And let me tell you that it is now only 5% of this target has been tapped by ESCO so far. Now, ESCO operates by providing saving guarantee, risk management, implementation of energy efficiency projects. Also, ESCO performs the measurement and verification M&V activities to quantify actual energy savings after implementation of the particular energy efficiency projects. Now, let us discuss ESCO contracts. Sorry. Now, as far as ESCO contract is concerned, there are two types of contract. One is guaranteed saving model, another is shared saving model. We shall discuss in details what are these financial models in our next slides. And in case of guaranteed saving models, what ESCO does? ESCO guarantees a certain savings on client's energy bills. That means not only he takes the technical risks, also he assures the client that this much of financial savings I'm going to achieve. Now, in turn, what the client does? Client goes to the bank, get the credit, get the loan, implement the project. Now, in case there is a default, or there is the performance of the equipment didn't work the way it has been planned, or there is a technical risk or technical failure, or there is a technical risk is surfaced. In those cases, ESCO commit or pays back the energy or the committed energy amount to the client. That means because of any technical risks, the ESCO assures the client or about the guaranteed saving which is supposed to achieve. That means whenever the client is not in a risk, he is able to repay the banks irrespective of the fact whether the technology failed or technical, whatever the associated technical risk is there. But in case of shared saving model, now ESCO bring the finance as well as implement the project, develop the project. Now all this implementation cost, energy saving is that this cost is borne by the ESCO, but the energy saving is shared between ESCO and the client in a specific ratio. Majority of the saving goes to the ESCO as he is implementing the project, but client gets some amount of saving because he is providing a platform for the ESCO to implement the project. Now, this model requires that ESCO to borrow from the banks, and in this case, the ESCO takes the technical as well as financial risks, but client didn't take any financial and technical risks, but gets certain savings due to implementation of ESCO activities by that ESCO. So there is a different, these are two different models. One is guaranteed saving model and another one is shared saving model. Apart from that, there are two other saving models. We shall discuss in details those models. Now, before understanding these financial options, let me share one example so that it will be easier for all of you to understand. Now, in case of IES model for sustainable development, what is IES? That is Integrated Energy Efficiency Service model. That means energy efficiency project. All things put together, all energy saving measure put together can be clubbed as Integrated Energy Efficiency Services model or an energy efficiency project. Now, in a facility, in any industries, in an MSME, in any organizations, there may be improper O&M practices, there may be underutilization of motor pumps, or there might be inefficient systems or equipment. Might be some wastage of energy. So because of all these activities, there is a loss of resources or energy. That means what the client is doing, it is purchasing more from grid or generate more electricity in the site, and as a result, it is incurring losses, incurring more operating cost, contributing more amount of greenhouse gas emissions, and it is less productivity and less competitive because its energy cost is maximum. So as a national perspective, what you have to do? You have to reduce the fossil fuel consumption, you have to reduce the greenhouse gas emission rate, and we need to control this wastage, loss of resources or loss of energy. So this ESCO is mainly dealing with that. The Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Ministry of Power has thought that if I can bring a lot of ESCO, can arrange finance for them, can give them certain technologies or spread that awareness about the energy saving equipment, then in that case, there will be a rapid transformation of the market. That means this energy efficiency project can be implemented in a better manner and at a faster way, so that the country will save a lot in terms of reduce GHG emission, reduce fossil fuel consumptions. So there has to be some business model, it has to be implemented, and results can be identified so that it can be replicated in other industries. Now, in case of integrated energy efficiency model, it can club lighting, air conditioner, energy efficiency motors, tri-generation. That means we can get heat energy, cooling energy, and electricity in one project, e-mobility, and it can be implemented in industries, government building, corporates. So there are plenty. And what we intend that there has to be some energy saving to the tune of maybe 10 to 30% or 30 to 50% by involving finance, by implementing energy efficiency projects. Now, how do we do this ESCO project and how we achieve the finance? Now, what do we do? Particularly in the respect of MSME industries who does not have that kind of facility manager, utility managers. It has only one owner or one electrical engineer to look after all these activities. Now, in this case, ESCO will be very much successful. What ESCO will do? It will conduct an energy audit, prepare a report, and it will find out the opportunities, motor system, air compressor, lighting, AC, pumping system, DG sets. All these activities will be monitored, performance will be evaluated, and it will find out where the energy saving potential are there and how much of cost is required. And it can be done through a walkthrough survey. It will collect the inventory. Then it will estimate the baseline. Baseline estimation is very much required, because before implementation of the project, what is the baseline specific energy consumptions? After that, it will make a scheme, which is basically an ESCO term sheet. That means it will prepare a scheme that these are the projects it is going to implement, these are the project cost, and this is a savings. And based on this scheme, it will sign an agreement with the client. Now, there can be deemed saving. We have discussed about guaranteed saving. We have discussed about shared saving. Now, deemed saving. In case of deemed savings, there will be an agreement between the ESCO and the facility manager or the client that whatever, irrespective of the actual saving, the ESCO will get certain amount of revenue within a contract period. Whatever he is making an investment, to get back his investment, it will calculate an IRR and a payback period, and based on that, it will take the money or fees from the client on a EMI basis, irrespective of whether the project is doing well or it is doing better than what is compared to the planned scheme, or it is doing lesser than the planned scheme. So irrespective of the performance of the equipment, the ESCO will take it will be treated as this saving will be guaranteed, and this is the deemed saving. This is supposed to have that much of savings. Now, this deemed saving approach is quite successful in case of very proven technology. Let us talk about motors, i3 motor replacement program, LEDs, efficient ACs, BLDC fans. Whatever the technology are been already implemented quite successful in the nations, all these projects can be easily implemented by deemed saving approach. In case that deemed saving model, it will procure the materials and implement the project, and there will be quarterly repayment to the ESCOs after implement the projects. Now, in this case, what is the advantage? The advantage is that monitoring verification cost is avoided, which the client takes the benefit. And ESCO, as far as ESCO is concerned, whether the plant is running or plant has stopped for time being, so the ESCO's investment is not getting hampered. So it is a win-win model for both client and ESCOs. Now let us discuss these case studies in which we can understand what is CAPEX model and what is OPEX model. Now let us understand around 15 number of motors, old motors, I1 category motor whose efficiency is 84.7% and is loaded at 70% is being replaced by 15 number of I3 motors and whose efficiency is at 89.6%. That means there is a efficiency change in efficiency of around 5.46%. So that means the annual energy saving is, if I reduce baseline consumption, we could find out this is the baseline annual energy consumptions by multiplying 50 numbers into 5.5 kilowatt into efficiency of 84.7%, and 70% is the loading, 331 days is the number of days working, 20 hours. So this is the baseline annual energy consumptions. New annual energy consumptions, in this case, we have to just replacing this 89.6% efficiency. So we got, this is the new annual energy consumptions. This is a projected energy consumptions. Now, so what is the annual energy saving? Energy saving will be 13.44 lakh minus 14.22 lakhs minus 13.44 lakhs. So almost 5.46% of annual energy saving is there. So monetary saving will be at the rate of 550. The monetary saving will be around 4.2 lakhs. Now the project cost of these motors are considering at 13,000 rupees per motor, it will be 6,73,000. So the payback period, total capital cost becomes 8.74 cost, taking into the PMC cost, taking into the GST. So the payback period is less than 2 years. That means if the owners invest this project of 8.74 lakhs in this motor replacement program, then you will get it investment back in a period of 2 years. Now, in case of a ESCO implement the project, then there is a cost involved because there is a financing will be involved. There will be rate of interest. So in this case, the ESCO decides, no, in a 3-year period, I will get back this money. So, and no upfront, the client does not have to bring in any upfront investment. So in this case, 3-year payment, the ESCO agrees, the client also agrees, and in a deemed saving approach, it gets 3 into 4 number of MIs in 12 EMI, it is getting the revenue back. So this is basically one model of deemed savings. Now let us understand the PMC model, or which is also known as CAPEX model. If I describe this model in terms of a CAPEX model, that means this much of is the baseline energy consumption which you have calculated. This is the actual saving which will be achieved once the project is implemented, that is motor are replaced, and this is the annual energy savings, and project cost is 8.74 lakhs. So that means the payback period is 2 years and project period is 3 years. Now, if the client does it, it will be treated for a client. That means client brings the investment, implement the project. In that case, the payback period is 2 years. But in case of an ESCO implement the project period will be 3 years, and it includes the PMC, project management consulting fees, as well as interest, material cost, and warranty will be for 36 months, and it will be recovered in a period of 3 years EMI. So how it will look like? So in this case, everything remains same. Only things, this is the monetized saving, this is actual project cost, but the cost goes up due to PMC cost, due to the interest component cost. So 9.92 lakh is the new project cost because of PMC and interest component. So we are getting 3-year time period. That means material cost, PMC, return on investment, debt interest, everything has been clubbed. In this case, if you see in this deemed saving model, the ESL is getting 3.3 lakhs and the client is getting 2.91 lakhs. That means 77% of the saving is being taken by the ESCO. Only 33% is being retained by the client. So this is but this cost or this repayment is fixed. It is irrespective whether motor is running or there is a change in the tariff or there is a stoppage in the motors. So it is irrespective of the actual operating condition of the equipment. The ESCO gets its payment of 3.3 lakhs annual. And this is a perfect example of shared saving as well as a deemed saving. Though here this saving is shared between the client and the ESCOs at a 77 and 23%, and this there is but it is deemed. It is not related to operating condition of the motors. Similarly, there are a number of projects. There are a number of projects in IES: lubricant, oil, coal, gas conservation project, dam system, waste recovery system, fuel switching project, energy efficiency in cold storage, smart meter for discoms, variable frequency drives, installation improvement project, retrofit and replacement of cooling tower blades, solar tubular daylight, wind ventilator, energy efficient compressors, energy efficient pumps, energy efficient HVAC, e-mobility, solar PV. So all this can be clubbed in any facility and can be considered as an energy efficiency project. Now, what is the investment potential? If you consider sector-wise investment potential for energy efficiency, the amount is almost 1,60,000 crores. So there is a tremendous business opportunities are there. In case of residential, commercial building, ULB, urban local bodies, municipal, agriculture, industries. So there are a lot of good potential is there as far as ESCO business is concerned. That means 1,60,000 crores. No ESCO might have that much of money. That means we need finance. We need certain financing platforms. This has been thought by National Action Plan for Climate Change. Now, when this NAPCC, National Action Plan for Climate, was designed, and under which in June 2008, this NAPCC was conceived. Under this National Action Plan, National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency was developed. There are 4 schemes. One is Perform, Achieve and Trade PAT scheme. Another one is Market Transformation for Energy Efficiency, MTEE schemes. The rest 2 are basically financing schemes. That is financing energy efficiency program. Under that, there are 2 frameworks. One is energy efficiency financing platforms. Another one is framework for energy efficient economic development. Now, energy efficiency financing platform is basically for creation of NBC financial institution who can give loan to the ESCO or the client or the implementer. And in case of FID, that is framework for energy efficient economic development, the government, the NGO counter guarantee the NBFC or the financial institutions, and they share the risks with the financing institutions. So there are 2 frameworks. One is energy efficiency financing platform. Another one is framework for energy efficient economic development. We shall discuss these aspects. Now, in case of implementation of energy efficiency projects or financing energy efficiency projects, who are the major stakeholders? One stakeholder is, of course, industries. Another is buildings. These are particularly known as hosts. It can be urban local bodies, government, private, where the project is going to be implemented. Another one is basically product and services provided. It can be ESCO, it can be equipment supplier, technology supplier, contractor, consultants. So they are basically the product and service providers. Then this unit, not for profit, it can be government agency, international agency, NGO, who normally share the risk or give a counter guarantee or guarantee fund or organizing the schemes, document. So these are the also important stakeholders. Now, who are the project developer? Project developer can be ESCO or the vendors or the contractor or the project hosts. That means this industry, building, urban local bodies, they can also take the loan from financial institution and implement the projects. Now, another one is financial institution. It can be commercial bank, development of financial institutions, international lending agency, NBFC. So these are the financial institutions. So in case of energy efficiency financing platforms, we should have all these 5 stakeholders. These are the major 5 stakeholders in for any energy efficiency projects. Now, right now, what are the financing options are available with us? Now, we understand it is 1,60,000 crores of business is there. Now, who is going to finance? One is ESL, Energy Efficiency Services Limited. It is a JV of PSUs of under Ministry of Powers, and they have due saving model, which we discuss. They have a pay as you save model. Also, NABARD provide loan for implementing energy efficiency project in rural areas, in agriculture areas, in fisheries areas, and solar water heater, energy efficient pumps, biomass based power plant. All these NABARD also provide loans. SIDBI, Small Industry Development Bank of India, they provide normally financing options for the small, medium-sized enterprise, and the loans are available for various ranges, for LED street light, for energy efficient motor, solar water heater, and you name any energy saving technologies for MSME, they provide the finance. Otherwise, IRIDA is also there who give financing option for energy efficient project. Right now, they have a portfolio. Similarly, other banks, financial institutions like State Bank of India, ICICI Bank, HDFC banks, all these banks, Canara Bank, they have some kind of financing option for energy efficient project. Earlier, these options were not available. Thanks to Government of India initiatives and thanks to Bureau of Energy Efficiency initiative, now loans are available for energy efficient project. It can be lighting, it can be HV system, it can be renewable energy systems. These financing options are available. Of course, there are a lot of energy saving service company, ESCOs. They also have certain fund and they can implement, they can give the finance on to their client or to the industries, but there's a condition they implement the project. Might mean performance-based contract or leasing model or deemed shared model or deemed saving model or shared saving model or a performance guarantee-based model. And of course, there are a lot of green bond has come to the market. These are basically fixed income securities and to finance environmentally friendly projects, and it also includes energy efficiency projects. Now, a lot of international funding organizations are there, like ADB, Asian Development Bank, Clean Climate Fund, World Bank. They also provide financial assurance to a lot of implement agencies like ESL, SIDBI, and these are the international funding organizations. They offer concessional financing at a very reduced loan, but normally to the high-end government supported program like ESL or SIDBI, and in turn they support the adoption of energy efficient technologies for to be implemented at client state or at MSMEs through the financial institution or through banks. Now, why we engage ESCO? Basically, as we discussed, one is financial impact, another is low risk, and another experience. Because when you decide to implement the energy efficient project at a faster rate, you need to have capital, you need to have technology, you need to have implementer, and all this can be supported by an ESCO. So they guarantee immediate savings. They can bring new capital. They can reduce the utility cost in a faster way. They can control the cost, and these are low risk model because the end client is not being exposed to the technical risks or any financial risks, and also they get the advantage of employee skill upgradations, and also they get the advantage of improved working conditions, and this will add value to the enterprise. Similarly, ESCO is very good in or specialized in packaging, implementation of energy efficiency projects. So the risk is shared and the time required for implementing the project is also minimum, and project is also based on successful completion and after achieving energy efficiency. So the client normally is at ease while implementing any energy efficiency complex project through an ESCO, and that's why ESCO is also preferred. Now let us come to the financing options and how the business model. One business model is shared saving. That means ESCO takes the loan, takes the financial risks, implement the project. Whatever the energy saving is achieved, whatever the financing saving is achieved, that is shared between the client and ESCO. Of course, ESCO takes the majority portion of the savings. In case of guaranteed saving, host, now in this case, the client takes the loan, so it takes the financial risks. Now, ESCO guarantees minimum energy saving. That means if that much of energy saving is not achieved, in that case, the ESCO pays back to the client the net saving amount so that the client can repay the bank about his EMI, or he can pay the principal plus debt to its financial institutions. So in this case, ESCO takes the guarantee of performance, but the client takes the financial risks. In case of deemed saving, host provides the fixed payment to ESCO. That means monthly EMI or quarterly EMI is being paid to the ESCO, and in this case, the ESCO makes some investment and the client only provide the fixed payment to ESCO irrespective of the condition of running condition or irrespective of the fact whether the equipment has achieved the saving or not. So now outsource energy management. That means in this case, ESCO sells the energy for an agreed price over a long term. Now in this case, ESCO invests in this project and whatever the energy is generated is being supplied to the client. That means it can, particular example of a solar project, if a ESCO comes and put up a solar project, generate certain energy and supply that energy to the client at a fixed price, which is normally lesser than the utility price, it will be treated as a outsourced energy management. It can also generate steam, supply the steam energy to the client. That concept is getting popular now, is going to be implemented soon. So that is also another amount of outsourced energy management. So these are the 4 business model which we discussed. Now let us go into the little bit details of this model. As I told, ESCO guaranteed savings. That means ESCO guaranteed that energy saving will cover the debt service. Whatever the client, this client, customer takes the loan from bank, that will be serviceable. That can be repaid by this project which being implemented by ESCO. That saving is guaranteed by an ESCO. So this is under guaranteed savings. So by getting the desired saving, the customer, the client pays back to the financial institutions. In case there is any shortfall due to any technical risks associated with this project, then what the ESCO does? ESCO repays the any shortfall which the customer has to pay to the banks. So by that, ESCO also takes certain amount of financial risk, and because it is guaranteeing the savings. So in this case, ESCO does not have a contract with the local financial institutions, but it assumes the risks of the project performance and promises to guarantee the energy saving achieved. Now, if the savings all sort of agreed upon amount, then the ESCO will cover the difference as specified in the agreement. So this is the model of guaranteed savings. This is the host, this is the ESCO, financial institutions. It arrange the finance. Now host facility takes the loan, host facility make the repayment, but in turn ESCO is behind the host facility to guarantee the savings, so that in case there is any shortfall, that amount is being paid by ESCO to host. Now in case of shared saving, what it does? Now in case of shared saving, the ESCO takes the loan from financial institution. Now it enters into a contract with the host and it supplies the equipment, install the equipment, now measure the savings. Now whatever the saving is achieved, that is being shared between ESCO and host. Out of the saving, whatever the ESCO gets, it repayments its debt to the financial institution. So in this case, the project host does not use any business credit or capital capacity because it is not involved in the financing. ESCO is involved in the financing. The main business of host is intact. It only repay or share the saving with ESCO, which is achieved due to the implementation of energy saving measures, and in turn ESCO pays back to the financial institutions. So this is a model of shared savings. We discuss also the deemed savings. In case of deemed savings, ESCO takes the loan and implement the project. Now a certain percentage of the saving achieved, financial saving achieved, is paid back to ESCOs, and this ESCO pays back to the financial institutions. Now this is based on a EMI model for the entire contract period. Now during energy efficiency financing, we need to provide a lot of loan and guarantee. Now what are these loan or guarantee? Now let us discuss. We need to sometimes provide collateral. Now of course there are certain banks, they don't ask for collateral, but normally when the project cost is higher, definitely collateral is desired. And what are the collaterals? Land, building, other assets of the borrower. Guarantee from the guarantor who is approved by the lending local financial institutions. Earmark or securitized cash inflow to pay the debt services. Structured cash collateral such as deposit, fixed deposit, escrowed amount are the local financial institutions. Deposit post-dated checks. Now these are the collaterals. That means land, building, FD, post-dated checks. These are the collateral which is supporting provided for availing energy efficiency project loan. Now guarantee, that means sometimes you are not able to provide that much of collateral, but you need somebody, either any NBFC or any government or any third party, to provide guarantee for the energy efficiency project loans. So it can be a corporate bank guarantee from the borrower or its parent company, personal bank guarantee from the CEO or the company's owners or its board members, or partial credit risk guarantee by government agency, multilateral development banks, or IFC, or any financial institution. So these are the guarantee that can be also be required to be made available to avail energy efficiency project financing or loan. Now, whenever you deal with energy efficiency financing, there have to be certain due diligence. That means without this due diligence, this financing cannot be extended. So what are the due diligence factors? One is financial analysis has to be properly done. That means what is the investment required, what is the project cost, what is the operation maintenance cost, what is the capital cost, what is the working capital, and how the debts equity structure, how much of loan amount is being availed, how much of equity is being deployed, what are the source of equity, what is the loan, what is the interest repayment, and what is the energy saving cost, what is the project payback period, internal rate of return, debt service coverage ratios, net present values, cash flows, interest coverage ratio. So all this financial analysis is required to be done through a chartered accountant, through a consultant. That is a must. Then financial structure means what is the contribution for any project, how much of contribution is made by the project host or the ESCO as project. Now what is the ESCO model? What is the guaranteed saving model? Whether it is a shared saving model, whether it is deemed saving model, and what is the borrower past experience? That means that is a now civil rating the bank is developing. So what is the past experience of the borrower? Whether it is prudent to invest in the borrower, whether it is prudent to provide him the adequate loan, what is his past experience? Now, what is the type of financial arrangement being provided by the borrower for the proposed model? Now, what are the technical parameters? What is the deployable net worth of the ESCO for project funding? All these financial terms is also required to be studied. Nature of contract with supplier and implementing entities. That means what is the terms of agreement signed between ESCO and vendors? Now whether there is penalty clause is not there or not, and what is the terms of the contract? Now how the saving is shared, whether the loan can be repaid through the shared saving model or not. Those things also is required to be analyzed. Sensitive analysis, that means in case there is a variation in the fuel cost, there is a cost escalation in the O&M or tariff or reduced saving, acceleration of O&M cost, and some economic parameters get changed, some project parameter get changed. There might be best case scenario, there might be worst case scenario. So all this sensitive analysis is required to be done as well. Then the sharing of saving between project on host and ESCO also required to be understood. So these are the important parameters which are required to be done for due diligence before energy efficiency financing. Now to the last part, what are the financing options available? Now, initially, it was quite difficult. Whenever any energy efficient project is implemented, normally banks were not coming forward to extend loan. So the government thought Now, without financing option available, the project cannot be implemented. Particularly, energy efficiency projects are complex projects. It is not a simpler project. Now, it requires a lot of calculations, lot of energy efficiency performance studies. So, to have that, government has come for various schemes. One scheme, now because of this scheme, because like energy efficiency financing platform, national mission for enhanced energy efficiencies, feed, all these mission project or the scheme document was finalized, and so that financing option can be easily available for implementation of energy efficiency project. Now, Government of India has launched various schemes. One scheme is PRGF, that means Partial Risk Guarantee Fund for Energy Efficiency. In case of PRGF, what it is a risk sharing mechanism. What is happening? The banks, government supports the bank by covering their risks. The financial institution extend the loan for energy efficiency project. In case there is a technical or financial failure, then automatically government is there to share the risks with the financial institutions. Now, Government of India has approved around 312 crores for PRGF, and loan amount should be more than 5 lakhs. Should be more than 5 lakhs. It should not be less than 5 lakhs. It should be more than 5 lakhs. And the joint project of RE and energy efficient is also possible to a ratio of 50 to 50%. Now, project financing institution can take guarantee from the implement agency for maximum 50% of loan. That means you have to pay the guarantee fees, then the financial institution can take the support of minimum 50% of the loan as your guarantee. So in case there is a failure, then your 50% of the finance is protected by government because of this scheme, PRGF scheme. The next scheme is Venture Capital Fund, VCF scheme for energy efficiency. Now, this fund requires that you have to invest in form of equity. Now, this equity single investment should not be more than 2 crores, and it should be limited to maximum 15% of total equity deployed. Life of the fund shall be for 10 years. So this is known as venture capital fund, in which lot of high net worth individuals, good corporate, they can also contribute in terms of equity, in terms of fund, in an ESCO, and ESCO can implement the project, and they will get the return on investment through the accrued energy savings. So this is a VCF fund, is also quite popular fund. Now another one is partial risk sharing facilities. SIDBI is the implementing agency. In this case, up to 15 crore of project cost, maximum 75% of the project cost can be provided by SIDBI, and this PRSF government guarantees SIDBI about that. In case some risk is there, government is there to support SIDBI in case of any technical failure. So PRS is also quite popular for MSME energy efficiency financing. Apart from that, SIDBI has separate financing schemes. Canara Bank also scheme for energy efficiencies. SBI project uptake is also there. Bank of Baroda scheme for financing energy efficiency project is also there. Now, lot of new banks is coming up with lot of financing options, and you have to have lot of due diligence, make the project report good project report, conduct a good energy audit, and model the energy efficiency project in a better manner so that it can be easily doable. So, feature of EES, energy efficiency loan, is basically how this loan helps the country's growth, because the project host is not impacted by the business credit capacity. That means since ESCO is taking the loan, so project host has little bit, their core credit business is not getting hampered. Now they don't require to submit, they are not required to submit the business collateral, and it will be able to generate a lot of positive cash flows, and you can have more than around 70% of the loan for turnkey project. And there are a lot of options are available. Shared saving, deemed saving, guaranteed savings option are available. So there are quite advantage of energy efficiency, availing energy efficiency loan from the banks through an ESCO, because ESCO knows the business well and they have the capability for rapid implementation at a faster rate. They can bring OEM service provider at a faster rate. They can arrange the energy efficiency financing at a faster rate, and also the risks can be mitigated well, and you don't have to have a separate M&B, because ESCO will be able to do the baseline audit as well as both implementation audit. So the financial saving, energy saving can be easily monitored, and it can be replicated in other areas of the designated consumer or MSME or buildings. So these are the advantage of ESCO and financing through ESCO. And in these sessions, we have understood what is an ESCO, what are the financing options are available, what are the due diligence is required to be done for energy efficiency financing, and what are the various model of ESCO, that is shared saving, guaranteed saving, deemed saving, or through energy performance schemes. And we have also understood how the business is so huge, and lot of energy professional can enter into this business and can create their own startup. Funds is not a constraint, but they have to implement the project. They can arrange easily finance, and there is a lot of scope for growth provided the business is implemented in a proper manner. And there are a lot of scopes in this ESCO business. I hope you will contribute and we will gather knowledge in this field and able to implement the project as well. For any queries, you can always contact us, and there is a Telegram group. You can join the Telegram group and Powertech Consultant. With this, I close the sessions. Thank you very much.